Yo, YouTube, today, we are diving straight into this absolutely epic new chapter. Right off the bat, the action is hitting a whole new level. Terrifying tree-like chimera just absolutely drops the hammer with a devastating slam attack. The shockwave alone is completely tearing up the battlefield. Araba takes a direct hit and gets blown back, and he is furious. You can see him clenching his fist, roaring, "You accursed chimera." With Araba pushed to his absolute limit right at the start, things are looking incredibly dangerous for the team. We see Araba desperately pushing forward, locking his eyes on his weapon lodged in the monster. He's literally pleading with it, saying, "Hold out, my beloved sword. Just a little bit longer, and I'll get you out of there." He dashes right back into the fray, completely locked in. Meanwhile, Sanraku and Amul are watching this play out from the sideline. Sanraku remarks on just how obsessed Araba is with that weapon, while Amul notes how deeply important it clearly is to him. It makes Sanraku look down at his own weapon, reflecting on how he's been using and abusing Dekusram here, all the way since back when it was still just a basic marsh dagger. Araba charges right back into the action, unleashing a massive roar as he lands a heavy blow straight onto the chimera with a loud thud. But the monster doesn't even flinch. It immediately counters, swinging a massive, sharp, forcing Araba to groan in pain as he takes another hard hit and gets pushed back. Just as the chimera prepares to follow up, Amul steps up to provide some crucial backup. With a serious look on his face, he opens his spellbook and casts Magic Edge, sending out a sharp burst of magic energy to throw the beast off balance. Amul's spell hits perfectly, creating a massive boom right on target. Sanraku shouts out a quick, "Way to land that on target, Amul," as he uses the opening to close the distance. As Sanraku charges in, he starts eyeing the chimera's bizarre design, joking to himself about how all that seafood the monster has absorbed inside of it would probably taste amazing if you put it on a grill. But the chimera isn't down yet. It lets out a menacing shriek and suddenly unleashes a blindingly fast, sweeping counterattack. Sanraku's eyes widen in shock as the massive blade-like limb cuts through the air with a dangerous whoosh, catching him completely off guard. Sanraku leaps into the air to dodge the sweeping strike after receiving a warning to look out. He skids across the ground as he lands, attempting to regain his balance. Digital particles begin flaking off his body as he realizes the attack actually nicked him. His health bar pops up on the screen, showing his HP dropping down to 58 out of 80. He hits the ground with a small hop, completely stunned by the hit. He internally panics, wondering if he somehow mistimed his evasion since he was completely certain he had successfully dodged the attack. Amul quickly grabs onto Sanraku's shoulder and asks if he is alright. Sanraku reassures Amul that he is fine, though he admits to himself that he might not be fully on his game today. Sanraku analyzes the enemy's attack pattern, realizing that because Araba's blade is stuck inside the chimera, the monster can easily swing it around to execute a low slash. He notes that while the move isn't fancy, it is mean enough to catch him off guard. Looking at the boss, Sanraku points out that the creature's entire body is made of absorbed sea life. He highlights its insane durability, noting how it didn't even flinch after taking the full brunt of Amul's magic spell. Before they can plan their next move, Araba charges straight back in with a massive roar. He completely unleashes on the monster, landing a rapid succession of heavy punches directly against its armored body. Sanraku shouts out a warning to Araba, telling him that striking the absorbed sea life won't do much damage and explaining what he actually needs to target. Araba, visibly strained, fires back that he already knows that. Sanraku breaks down the boss's weak point, explaining that the creature absorbing everything has a massive lump right in the middle of its torso. He tells the team that if they want to deal real damage, they have to hit that main core. As Araba quickly maneuvers around the chimera's heavy limbs, he grows incredibly tense, noting to himself that there is something much more urgent on his mind. Araba ignores the core entirely, completely focused on reclaiming his trapped weapon as fast as possible. He lunges deeply into the enemy's space, stretching his arm out because he realizes the hilt is finally within his reach. Sanraku notices him overextending and desperately screams at him not to rush into the danger. But Araba is moving too fast to stop. The chimera instantly whips a massive octopus tentacle through the air, wrapping it tightly around his torso and trapping him completely mid-air. The chimera hoists Araba completely into the air, causing him to panic and curse at the creature's tricky fighting style. Sanraku watches the capture in shock, struggling to understand how the beast managed to react so quickly. Amul frantically points out that Araba is in serious trouble. Sanraku immediately springs into action, ordering Amul to prepare a backup enhancement spell for him right away. Sanraku zeroes in on the target, his eyes flashing as he activates an offensive ability. He unloads a blazing, rapid-fire sequence of sword strikes directly onto the monster, triggering his unbroken light dance skill to sever the beast's grip. Sanraku's dual blades strike the beast, but he immediately groans in frustration, realizing a tough outer shell is completely blocking his attacks from reaching the core. The Chimera lets out a low growl and forcefully deflects Sunraku's assault, sending him flying backward through the air. Sunraku and Amul are left completely shocked as they realize the monster's defenses are actively repelling his strikes. As Sunraku lands and maintains his distance, Araba remains tightly bound by the tentacle, helpless to do anything but watch. Gritting his teeth in pure anger, Araba glares at the monstrosity and states that only a power like Tarnid could have given form to such an abomination. Araba glares intensely at the monster holding him, telling it that it barely even qualifies as a living thing. He demands that the creature stop messing with him as he fights against its tight grip. With a sudden burst of raw strength, Araba bites down hard on the monster, aggressively tearing into it to break free from the capture. He manages to sever the tentacle, but the momentum forces him into a hard fall. He groans in pain as he slams heavily onto the stone ground, completely wiping out from the escape. The Chimera immediately swings a crushing strike at the fallen warrior. Sunraku intercepts the blow, dual-wielding his new Empire B Twinblade V4 to save his ally. Sunraku activates his Shana OH possession skill, unleashing a massive flash of energy as he charges forward. Telling the monster to rot in hell, he drives a powerful thrust directly into the incoming heavy limb. He follows up with a fierce, rapid succession of stabs, roaring as his twin blades pierce the enemy repeatedly. The overwhelming assault completely shatters the Chimera's defense, causing the targeted limb to crumble into digital particles. Sunraku orders Amul to finish it off. Readying the spellbook, Amul eagerly agrees and casts the enhancement, Add Spell, Magic Edge. The spell infuses Sunraku's weapon, unleashing a massive, crescent-shaped magical slash that slices cleanly through the Chimera's remaining limb. As the severed pieces fall away, Sunraku locks his eyes on the core and declares that it is finally their turn to strike. With a surge of determination, Araba firmly grasps his weapon. Straining with a massive roar, he summons all his strength and delivers a powerful, decisive slash that rips straight through the monster. Amul marvels at how Araba tore his weapon right out of the beast, while Sunraku jokingly admits the raw display of strength made him feel a little tense. Meanwhile, Araba stands completely enraged as the monster screeches in the background. He declares that he could never forgive the horrible way the creature treated his blade. Grasping the massive hilt with both hands, Araba stares down the enemy. He proclaims that it is strictly between the two of them now, raising his recovered sword, the Grand Straight, as a powerful aura begins to glow around the weapon. Suddenly, an eerie water spirit known as the Possessive Existent Nereid emerges directly from Araba's glowing blade, completely shocking Sunraku and Amul. With Nereid swirling around him, Araba declares that the monster will soon know the full extent of his rage. Channeling this new power, he prepares to strike, unleashing a high-tier sword skill, Hieroblade. Coral Thorn. End of the chapter. If you enjoyed, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, so you don't miss the next chapter when it is posted. Have a nice time.